And I know that we've taken a little bit of a break, but I think it's going to be well worth it as we have the men's doubles semifinal underway in court number 1 and 2 as they're getting ready to announce the athletes.
And our other official we have is Jorge Venegas. On table 1, we have Bill Engelbrecht as the head umpire. Then we have from NYU, Lucas Danny, Jeremy Hazen. From UCLA, Coed, Alexander Wu, and Conrad Song is the other official. Shake hands, and you may start the match.
I'm trying to get him to smile or do something.
And there you have it, the men's doubles semifinals are set. We're about to have some explosive points here. NYU, Mudit Denis and Jeremy Hazen versus UCLA's Kai Jerbin and Alexander Wu on table number 2. If you're just tuning in with us, you're watching day 1 of the 2023 Collegiate National Table Tennis Championships. I'm Joe Wells. Alongside me is Roger Dixon. And Roger, what do we have expect here? We saw that the pairings from NYU last year have a very, very successful season, go deep into a lot of these rounds. This is going to be the first time that we're getting the chance to see the number 5 seed from UCLA, Kai Jerbin and Alexander Wu. So kick us off here, Roger, with the semifinals of doubles.
Okay, so Jeremy Hazen is the current Canadian national champion. And Mundit Dandy, he was one of the best juniors coming out of India. Played at the World Championships for the juniors. And now he's been at NYU. I think this is his 3rd year. And he's a solid player. You know, it's going to be interesting because this is, I think, the first time they've actually played this event and the doubles together, because they've always had very strong teams going in. It's a great school, so NYU's able to get some super high-quality guys. And, you know, the guys from California have been playing with each other for a long period of time, and now they're both at UCLA. So it's going to be a pretty cool challenge, and you're not going to see a lot of slow play going on here. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're waiting for. Again, a lot of people elect to wait on singles, but doubles is so exciting, and there's so many variables that go into it, especially with the service variations. We saw that show itself very much so in the women's doubles quarterfinal. We'll have that coming up later, as well as doubles semifinals under action, UCLA versus NYU.
Here we go. Oh, good placement by Jeremy. And you'll see that because he's got quick hands over the table, and he's going to force a lot of jammed or misdirected balls.
And you see he's very comfortable with the service return, as a lot of times we have not seen someone play so far up into the table, but because he is a left-hander, this is going to be a very good rotation for the two of them.
So again, you know, we were talking earlier about mixing and matching players. Well, the guys from UCLA are a chopper and an attacker. So Alex Wu is the chopper, and it's going to be interesting to see how he controls these very strong shots from the NYU team.
Especially because choppers, they like to get off the table. They need time, and that's not where you win all of your points in doubles. You want to be able to hold your position on the table and control closer to the table. So the fact that they've advanced this far, it just means that, you know, shows how good the UCLA pairing is, in particular Alexander Wu, to be able to get to the semifinal.
Well, you'll see that his forehand is not a defensive forehand.
He's a modern day defender.
Oh, he's a very modern day defender.
Quick forehand flip over the table down the line.
Yeah, and as a tall rangy player. He makes those accelerated step-ins very, very easily. So, little note to new players: before you serve, you do have to give, your returning player time to be prepared. So you just
Settled
can't
in.
serve.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's going to be really important for NYU to be able to control the point, because UCLA is coming out swinging on the forehand side.
I think it's interesting. Both teams are like equal spaced. Both the NYU guys are more compact in their frame, and the UCLA guys are both like 6 foot plus guys with range, but they're used to each other's spacing, so they're comfortable playing at width with each other.
A lot of that is just a testament to the footwork.
That was some good offensive skills shown right there. Although Mundit almost got that ball back.
And that's a very tricky ball that a lot of the long players, the defenders, have, that they're able to take the pips and kind of slide it out wide. Not very much spin on it.
Yeah, but at the national championship level of play, Mundit serve kind of deception is really, really good.
Yeah, and a really good shot there by Mundit. He elected to drive the backhand into the corner of Gerbin, and he didn't really have a whole lot of time to get over and around that ball.
Yeah, when you get somebody driving the ball like that at you, it's hard to chop back. A, you don't have enough time. B, there's not enough space. The ball's to you before you can even start really doing the swing.
Yeah, and that's the execution that UCLA wants. It's an open attack with one forehand followed up by another forehand, because they don't feel like they're going to be countered against.
That's the left-handed side spin coming inside on Alex. So some good tight positioning as the NYU team up by 2.
Another good counter there. Unfortunately, the ball sails a little long on Jeremy.
Jeremy's very animated all the time.
Yeah, well, he's passionate about the game.
Oh, yeah,
Played
this is
at a
his
very
life,
high
man.
level, and international level player. And he wants to win every time stepping in.
Good positioning, making the whole court be covered.
Okay, come on.
Yeah,
we expected a battle, and here we are.
Deuce in the first. You couldn't ask for anything more, Roger. And I know that NYU is definitely wanting to. They're a patient team, and they're very controlled. And Jeremy with a really smart forehand loop. It was all, I don't want to call it a dead ball loop, but
Yeah, he
it
kinda-
died down shorter and did
Okay.
not kick up as much as you would have thought.
That's it.
Again,
Nice
there's
flip.
a lot of pressure on the left-handed player. He's trying to take the ball into the backhand side of Alexander Wu, but he's just not able to direct it there because he knows that he can't leave it anywhere across the table or in the middle. That time it paid off. It worked. It was a good place shot.
Both teams are showing off some big fireworks.
Really glad to see that both teams have not been at all in this opening game, not letting anything go. And again, NYU not having to do a whole lot with the forehand, just make sure they're getting it in the right place.
Good spot placements.
UCLA is still electing to take the bigger strokes, and there you have it. NYU takes game number one, 14-12 in the first. Neither team wanting to break. Very impressed with NYU holding their composure throughout that first game. Not really overhitting, electing to place the ball around the court very much. You saw UCLA wanted to be the more explosive of the two teams. Both players stepping around, taking big cuts off the forehand side, and following up with back-to-back forehands regardless of when the ball is coming back in. So we'll see what adjustments they make if they want to slow it down a little bit and feel their way into it versus forcing the forehands at times. We saw it happen in the rotation from Jeremy Hazin into Alexander Wu. Alexander, it's tough as the ball is coming into his backhand from a shorter distance. And then he has to then try to step around. No time to do inside out, so he has to go down the line. So his margin for error is even shorter. So that was a tough sequence. Now again, a new service return sequence. We'll see how that works out and if there is any difference.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Wounded very controlled. I mean, he's got excellent recognition of what the spin is. So he's not going to get fooled a lot. But the pressure's going to be on him to keep the ball tight in the middle. There, he went wide, and it actually fed Alex rather well. So I actually played Mundit, and he did things to my serve I've never had anybody else ever do to it. His touch and feel for the ball, yeah, straight up world class. That's the tricky part. When Alex goes up the line, he's going right up to Jeremy's forehand. And so it's going to come back quickly up the line.
Well, Jeremy has a very good block as well, so I actually don't mind him taking that shot. Jeremy's counter is not explosive, so it's not something you really have to
well
be
placed.
It's placed well.
Yeah.
But I would probably take my chance more so on the up the line forehand than I would with him being in the table in his element with the backhand drive. He's very, very comfortable off blocking and punch blocking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Joe and I step back, let you just enjoy the action on the court for a second there.
Big sliding forehand there from Alexander Wu, moving away from Jeremy is in NYU. UCLA leads 6-5 in game number 2.
Yeah, so that was more than trying to get a ball for Jeremy. He tried to flip it open to open up the court, and it was just a little off on the timing.
Just an unlucky net ball there. And again, that ball, well placed, but not something that
Crazy.
Jerben would have been able to block back. So I don't mind that play. Just an explosive whip around forehand from Jerben of UCLA. Watch this replay here.
Nice
Great
job.
control from
Rolled
Wu.
open and just finished. I expected more of that from Jeremy, actually, on the serve return.
Great return there.
Yeah, he caught him flat-footed. He was looking more to the middle, and it went wide.
UCLA closes out game number 2 in excellent fashion with some really explosive forehands from Jereben. Some great recovery within the point to slow it back down for Alexander Wu, and then allow them to speed back up with forehands.
Yeah, it's such a heavy underspin ball, and Jeremy wants to get it attacked, but the risk is what happens after that ball. And you saw Mundit would spin it up, and then Jeremy would have to deal with the ball that got chopped super heavy. And yeah, he can get it back, but Jerben was waiting for that ball. He knew where it had to be and was able to tee off on some shots there.
Right.
They're just huge forehand and backhand.
Well, they definitely were able to open up, or at least Jereben was a little bit more on that backhand side. Obviously, again, they're both going to take big swings on the forehand side. We'll see if Jeremy's able to take the forehand again back into the Alexander Wu backhand side, which is what paid off for them in the service return sequence. And then we're back to that here in the 3rd game. Let's see if Alexander makes any adjustments on the step around for the forehand, where the first game, a lot of the pressure was for him to take it back down the line. Let's see if he can go inside out with it.
Difficult, controlled game. Well done by Mundit on both his serve returns.
Again, and that's where you see being exposed a little bit when the counter is not big enough.
Right. And we're just having a little trouble reading how much spins on that drive. It almost seems like he's using a Chinese rubber, so he can either spin it real hard or hit it real hard.
Yeah, again, big quick step around, but electing to go down the line, which means that he has to get around it even faster.
And has less room. There, the ball was more in the middle.
Safer.
Yep.
He didn't take it. It's a big swing, but it was just in a safer place.
Yeah, the ball came back to not quite the middle, but enough where he stepped around. He wasn't having to play the ball up the line.
Yeah, UCLA needed that. Jeremy needed to be able to see that he has that shot. We know that he has it, but if he's able to neutralize the rotation a little bit with a punch out wide on the backhand side, that will go a long way in this match. Takes pressure off him, feeling like he needs to have time to hit the backhand.
Nice touch. The ball just curled away from him, just ran away from Kai.
Still the ball that he wanted. I mean, he was going to take the forehand regardless, but
just one step too far away.
Yeah, he was able to keep it really low.
That was a big cut on that chop. Still not enough.
I think he might have overplayed it a little bit.
I think they're starting to see some tendencies here where they know they're going to attempt to flip that backhand.
Just super unlucky and net edge. I mean, what's more devastating?
I'd like to have one, you know, if it's going to happen, not both.
At least it's earlier in the match and not at 9-all or 10-9.
Yeah. Get it out of the way early. I mean, it's still sixes. So basically it came to 5.
Jamming serve there. Jeremy wasn't able to get around it to finish the forehand stroke, and he ended up really carrying it just a little long. He wants that forehand back. And again,
Nice.
the pressure to keep the ball tight down the line.
Yeah, he's getting the location, but he's just not keeping the height right.
At this point, Roger, would you say that it would be in Jeremy's interest to maybe keep Alexander a little honest and don't be afraid to push out wide to the forehand
Well, actually,
side?
I would think that it would be to Jeremy's interest to actually kind of pivot and use his backhand and open the wide angle. The wider angle. Instead of going up the line, step around and take it really wide.
Backhand wide to Alexander's forehand. But does he cut into the spacing on the court for Danita at that time?
Right.
Having to come in that much
Yeah,
and
well,
then
it's the
go
time.
back out.
It's the time.
Yeah.
He cuts off the time. Because he's got to run to get that wide angle. So there's points in a match where you got to take a deep breath. And when you have a 4-point lead, you don't want to rush to try to finish the match.
Now, especially against a very controlled, composed team. Obviously, NYU has their own firepower that they will into part, but really they start controlling it early.
UCLA, 11-8.
So Mundit's really got to lift his partner up there. Jeremy's really beating himself up there.
And obviously a player of his caliber, he gave away some shots there towards the middle of that match, and there's some balls, especially some service returns on the forehand side that he wants back. Just also a couple unlucky bounces as well, which, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just a part of table tennis.
The rumor has it that they balance out, but it's a rumor. It's kind of like, you know, they say, but who are they?
Who are they?
Do they play?
I doubt it.
Because if they played, they'd never say that.
The people that I play, they very much so like their nets and edges and are very unapologetic about it.
Yeah, one that's ready to go.
NYU to serve. 0-0.
And it's going to be really, it looks like, up to Moody to calm Jeremy down a bit, keep him in each point, and not feel rushed or pressured. And I think it's also in this rotation, Jeremy is probably going to feel the need to be more aggressive than what we're used to seeing from him.
Yeah, it's especially right here on the serve return. That's the key to NYU right now, is quality serve returns. And it's about the spots, not the speed.
And there you saw UCLA opens up, be able to control the ball and not really get rattled much on the NYU side.
Yep.
Just keep them moving, keep the ball back in play.
And they ended up rolling the ball out wide.
That's just such a tough ball to deal with.
It's just at the wrong level and the high quality of spin. It's tricky to touch it just enough. Insane rally.
Impressive rally there, and
Point of
even
the
more
day.
impressive the spin that they were able to come back into the point with, not overhitting but imparting so much topspin, and it was just way too much. As good as NYU is as controlling the ball, UCLA did just a much better job of not overhitting and putting a lot of topspin on it.
And they didn't allow him to get control of the first angle, and that's hugely important.
Just a little overcooked there by UCLA, but that's okay. It's the
Yeah,
shots that they want.
Yeah, made him take that extra little step, so he got him extended. It wasn't in that real good, clean flip area. Yeah, Jeremy's making the point, but he's still questioning how much spins on the ball. Just doesn't feel comfortable. But that's the point.
Yeah, a great bounce back there from UCLA to go back to the bread and butter. It's a first and a third combo.
Wounded wasn't surprised on that return at all. Ended up handcuffing Kai. High pressure backhand. Right on the correct spot.
We've seen a lot of that happening when the players are getting more comfortable into the match. They start taking a few more chances than usual. Just great recovery there by Jeremy Hazine to step in.
Man.
And being off balance, move back into the table and touch the ball at the right angle.
What's amazing, he just made it go so wide. Oh, wow. We've been seeing him do that banana flip, and that was probably the cleanest one that he's done. The other ones he was trying to keep tight in the middle. That one, he let it go wide. Very good.
Yeah, and it looked like Mundit had the forehand that he wanted. He saw the step around for the banana flip, and it was right in the wheelhouse, just missing out wide just a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard time because it kicks both out and sideways.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to leave those
No,
passive blocks over the middle.
That's a good 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, how many more edges do I have to see today?
Yeah, and NYU
Storms back.
storms back in game number 4 is right, and they were looking very comfortable in that game. I mean, UCLA had some great shots, but it was early on.
Yeah,
They gave away a few points there towards the middle, which really caused that gap in the lead that NYU was able to build up.
Yeah, it's like they took the best punch from the boxer and they're able to roll through it. They got staggered, but they found their footing and were able to counterattack.
They also recovered really well on some of the shots within the point and not try to do too much with it, but just easier said than done, but just be able to get it back in play and start the rotation over again.
Yeah, I think some of the critical points were Mundit's backhands. Because it recreated the angle that they want. You know, as a righty-lefty, it kind of got them back in sync to where they could both play their forehands again.
The 5th and deciding game underway, UCLA versus NYU. Let's see who's going to be the first one to advance to the men's doubles championship.
Yeah, the bad thing is you got to pick table 1, table 2, table 1, table 2. And we thank you for staying with table 2.
Go!
And that NYU knowing that they have to take their chances, and that ball certainly was high enough. And that's something we don't get to see from Jerry very often, but he, again, at the level that he is, unlike what we saw earlier today, able to overcome that heavy topspin and really counter over it quickly.
Yeah. So I think Mundit really told Jeremy, hey, he's going to banana flip this to here, be ready to counter loop, and he, boom, did exactly as predicted. But there, guy got a lucky edge.
And from the way this angle sets up, he's definitely hitting into Jeremy's forehand on the 6th ball.
Correct.
Again, step around, forehand down the line. That's a very tough ball to execute.
Such a short space to make it really quality. Just
You
very
can't give up that
timed.
much more court because then you really expose the forehand out wide. You win one, you lose one. Same sequence, same service return down the line.
Yep.
Ball got a little high, a little deep.
And a little more away from the edge. There's more into the middle. Not much,
Not by much.
but that's all they need.
A player
At
as
this
fast
level,
as
yeah.
Alexander is on the step around, absolutely.
super difficult to control that spin.
Again, that's just a really big ask for Jeremy on that inside-out forehand.
Yeah, it wasn't quite there. And he tried to just fall away to make it happen. But he really needed one more step. Got handcuffed and tried to come up with something creative.
And there's the timeout call, smart call by the NYU corner.
As NYU calls the timeout, they can end it at any time, and the other team has to respond. So they got over, talk about what they want to talk about. Got back to it.
Yeah, you don't want to leave too much time in between.
Yeah,
You know, it's not like
unless you really need to mentally reset. Go in, clean it up, and let it go.
Just a really great point, great exchange. I like what I saw from Jeremy on the backhand side, taking it quickly off the bounce, not giving NYU a whole lot of time to reset because he knows that his teammate's probably going to end up on the pip side. Not enough room there for him to execute his
that was
forehand.
a really good placement.
Hopefully that they're not getting heavy legs when now it's coming time to movement. At 6-all in the 5th game, it's been a long day, and this is just the first day for these athletes. I don't want to see the footwork start to fail them because they've played a beautiful match up until this point.
Yeah, to me, I don't think that happens until you're in your mid to late 20s. At this point, I think you could go pretty hard all day.
There was a time.
There was a time.
There was a time.
Smart call by UCLA now.
Absolutely.
Mundit and Jeremy go on a run, and after the timeout, so call your timeout, reset what you're doing, make the adjustment. Yeah, this is a proper time to reset your energy, your mental energy. Because it isn't tactical or anything they could have changed. They're doing the right things. It's just, okay, get your confidence back. Let's go.
And the UCLA definitely taking their time coming out of the timeout. No rush. They saw NYU come back to the table a little early, but they were going to use their full time. Smart play because, again, it's only, 1 point off the serve to UCLA.
That may be the key to the match right there.
Just
that backhand.
Controlled.
Yep.
Didn't even have to move.
Nope.
Took his time and deposited open court. Didn't overhit, didn't try to counter loop it. It was just a beautiful backhand drive to the open court. And that's something that it's not like we have not seen that from Mudit Dini of NYU. Again, this is the second time in 3 points that we've seen the pairing from UCLA not have enough space to execute forehands.
Yeah, he really almost took his legs out from underneath him.
really feeling it. They reeled off 4 straight points.
Jeremy really good play.
Why not take the big forehand? And he just caught the edge and it sailed long. So UCLA's not out of this, even though they trail 7-9 in the 5th game.
Come on, let's go.
And Mudit Denise stepping up in these last few points. 5th game, showing himself as a true veteran. Not rattled at all. Just some beautiful counter loops and counter backhand punches that we've seen. And why not?
Yeah.
Why not take that shot?
That's your shot.
Been rolling the last 4 points. Why not take it?
Yeah, it would be too hard to step around. Yeah, using the towel break effectively.
Yeah, take your time, reset now.
Again, they knew what they were going to get.
Again, smart play, reset. It looks like, And it went from hot to cold in a matter of moments. Hot to cold in a matter of moments is now 10-10 in the 5th. The winner goes on to the final to face the winner of Penn versus UC Berkeley. Great fight from UCLA to hang in there. Again,
didn't have to move.
Getting crossed up on the footwork by the pairing of UCLA.
Yeah, that's the lefty,
they go
the
back
strength.
Yes.
Getting them to pull that wide ball, that first wide ball.
They go back and look at this match, they're going to see that positioning cost them a few points late in the 5th. There you have it, NYU.
Into the final.
First team into the final. Great fight from UCLA. The pairing of Kai Jeremy, Alexander Wu definitely had a chance to come back in that 5th and deciding match. They were down 9-7. They tied it up at 10-all. Great fight from that team from UCLA. We're going to see a whole lot more of them in the future. And now at this point, we're going to have a little bit of a break. If you want to head over to table number 2, see the number 2 seeds, UPenn versus Cal Berkeley. Got fireworks going on over there, 8-6 in the 5th. Serve is on UPenn's racket. Let's take a quick break and allow you all to get over there and watch this great match.
Lefty, righty, lefty, righty.